Hello, Wiki Workshop. I'm Kaylee Champion, incoming faculty at University of Washington, Bothell in the Division of Computing and Software Systems. I'm presenting on behalf of myself and my co-author, Nathan Teplentice, who is assistant professor at the School of Information at University of Texas, Austin. We're both members also of the Community Data Science Collective, which is interested in understanding online communities more broadly. So our work in progress is the impact of source access on knowledge production. In particular, our motivation here is how can we better understand information landscapes, public sense making, knowledge integrity, and information public goods production. Within that kind of shared overall research interest, I think Nate was really inspired by some of the recent dataset releases around citations and Open Alex and what that capability sort of unlocks for us as social scientists, as well as my sort of excitement around this project was spurred because of the gift of Wikipedia library access myself. So one day I got a notification when I was editing in Wikipedia, congratulations, now you're eligible for the Wikipedia library. This is from my notices. And I was so excited. I felt kind of a warm glow of appreciation. I felt very encouraged. And as much as my Wikipedian heart was sort of warmed by this, it also triggered some of my researcher heart, thinking about, okay, if I'm excited about this and I feel good, maybe others are also excited about this. And thinking about the capabilities and the possibilities from this sort of beautiful sort of moment when you get something you weren't expecting. So what is the Wikipedia library? If you're familiar with university sort of data sets and library resources and library and so on, it's quite similar. This is a proxy access into research databases, published material that otherwise would be quite expensive if you did not have a university affiliation or other sort of institutional membership. Wikipedia library makes that possible for you. They also serve as kind of an umbrella organization for those resource providers who might want to make some of their resources available to Wikipedians but want to wrap some permissions around it. So the Wikipedia library sort of facilitates that connection. Their eligibility criteria are around activity and longevity within Wikipedia. So good citizens who are sort of trying to contribute have eligibility then for Wikipedia library. So one of the reasons why this kind of research is important is because information public goods, including Wikipedia, digital infrastructure software, and all the other things that make the internet great, can be quite hard to sustain over time. So we wonder what kinds of interventions, so programs, resources, designs, activities, etc., which of these are effective in helping information public goods communities to thrive. Our approach to this question is to collect data in partnership together with the Wikimedia research and Wikipedia library teams to demonstrate then use of the data set and try to develop some causal inference about that. You'll be able to follow our progress on our meta page. We're both very committed to open science for the public good and respect for contextual integrity because we know Wikipedians are not necessarily aware of or really thinking about research that comes after them when they make their contribution. So we want to make sure we respect the context in which the contribution was sort of originally made. The current status of this project is at the very top here in this data collection phase, although by the time you hear this presentation, we're hoping to have stepped forward a little bit into some of the data set development and sort of slicing and dicing of data that we're excited to do. Our planned outcomes for this project are to build out this WikiLib dataset around this open data, open code approach, an edit level dataset that will contain was the source available via the Wikipedia library at the time of an edit? Was the editor Wikipedia library eligible at the time they made that edit? Did the editor access the library shortly before the edit? And then for what duration was the citation, including this resource, included also in the article they edited? Our source level data set asks the question, what sources are available and when? Our second planned outcome here is to engage in some quantitative description to sort of demonstrate use of this data set. In particular, we're interested to understand what topics are Wikipedia library resources used to support, and how does this differ from the range of resources that are available within the library versus sort of scientific resources more broadly. We want to compare then usage of Wikipedia library to sources not in the library. And we would like to map those citations into OpenAlex data. There's a lot of great prior work around this. We also would like to understand topical coverage and language coverage in terms of how these citations are used. So what essentially does library access sort of, what's it associated with? What does it perhaps then unlock? However, this also opens this possibility around causal inference from observational data, because that moment of awarding access to people and the potential within any system like the Wikipedia library to be interrupted, things go up and down, things get added. So this gives opportunities around natural experiments. It lets you do interrupted time series and regression discontinuity designs that give us some causal insight into the impact of the library. We have a couple hypotheses that we then hope to test. One, making a source available through the library increases likelihood the source will be used as a reference to Wikipedia. Second, that receiving access to the library encourages contributors to contribute more to Wikipedia overall. So does that warm glow extend beyond just the reference that they're adding? Receiving access to the library increases the likelihood a contributor will persist in their participation. So these sort of hypotheses, and maybe others sort of made possible by this data, are very exciting. All right, so we know that this analysis has some limitations because sources are used out there in complex ways. Foraging, awareness, synthesis checking, fighting misinformation, having access to a source, not the same as knowing you have access to the source or knowing how to use it, as well as kind of given this quantitative approach, any characterization we make is going to omit important context and elements of individual experience. I'm looking forward to your feedback, questions, ideas, etc. Thank you.